Hello and welcome to this video on compressors. In this video, we'll be discussing what a compressor is, how it works, and how it can be used in audio production. A compressor is a device that reduces the dynamic range of an audio signal by increasing the level of the quieter parts and decreasing the level of the louder parts. This can be useful in a number of ways, such as to even out the level of a recording, to make a track sit better in a mix, or to add sustain to a guitar or other instrument. There are many types of compressors available, ranging from simple hardware units to complex software plugins. They can be used in a variety of settings, including recording studios, live sound systems, and home audio setups. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at how compressors work and the different ways they can be used in audio production. 1. The threshold. The threshold in a compressor is a level that the incoming audio signal must exceed in order for the compressor to begin reducing the level of the signal. The threshold is usually expressed in decibels dB. When the signal level is below the threshold, the compressor does not affect the signal at all. As the signal level increases and crosses the threshold, the compressor begins to reduce the level of the signal by a specified amount, known as the ratio. The amount of reduction is determined by the ratio, the threshold, and the makeup gain applied after the compression. The threshold is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines at what point the compressor will begin to affect the signal. Setting the threshold too low will result in the compressor reducing the level of the signal too much, while setting it too high will result in the compressor not reducing the signal enough. Finding the right threshold for a given situation is often a matter of trial and error, and may require some experimentation to achieve the desired results. 2. The ratio. The ratio in a compressor is a value that determines the amount of reduction applied to the incoming audio signal when it exceeds the threshold. For example, a ratio of 2 to 1 means that for every 2 dB the input level exceeds the threshold, the output level will be reduced by 1 dB. A ratio of 4 to 1 means that for every 4 dB the input level exceeds the threshold, the output level will be reduced by 1 dB. In general, the higher the ratio, the more the compressor will reduce the level of the signal. The ratio is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines how much the compressor will affect the signal. Setting the ratio too high will result in the compressor reducing the level of the signal too much, while setting it too low will result in the compressor not reducing the signal enough. Finding the right ratio for a given situation is often a matter of trial and error, and may require some experimentation to achieve the desired results. 3. The attack. The attack in a compressor is a parameter that determines how quickly the compressor begins to reduce the level of the incoming audio signal once it exceeds the threshold. The attack is usually measured in milliseconds ms. For example, a compressor with a fast attack time of 10 milliseconds will begin to reduce the level of the signal almost immediately once the threshold is crossed, while a compressor with a slower attack time of 100 milliseconds will take longer to begin reducing the level of the signal. The attack time is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines how the compressor will respond to transients, short-term, high-level signals, in the audio. Setting the attack time too fast will result in the compressor reducing the level of the transients too much, while setting it too slow will result in the compressor not reducing the transients enough. Finding the right attack time for a given situation is often a matter of trial and error, and may require some experimentation to achieve the desired results. 4. The release. The release in a compressor is a parameter that determines how quickly the compressor stops reducing the level of the incoming audio signal once it falls below the threshold. The release is usually measured in milliseconds ms. For example, a compressor with a fast release time of 50 milliseconds will stop reducing the level of the signal almost immediately once the signal falls below the threshold, while a compressor with a slower release time of 500 milliseconds will take longer to stop reducing the level of the signal. The release time is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines how the compressor will respond to the end of a transient short-term, high-level signal. Setting the release time too fast will result in the compressor not reducing the level of the transient enough, while setting it too slow will result in the compressor reducing the level of the transient too much. Finding the right release time for a given situation is often a matter of trial and error, and may require some experimentation to achieve the desired results. 5. The knee. The knee in a compressor is a parameter that determines the transition between the uncompressed and compressed parts of the signal. The knee is usually expressed as a range around the threshold, such as soft or hard. A compressor with a soft knee has a gradual transition between the uncompressed and compressed parts of the signal, while a compressor with a hard knee has a more abrupt transition. The knee is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines how the compressor will respond to signals that are close to the threshold. A compressor with a soft knee will have a more subtle effect on the signal, while a compressor with a hard knee will have a more noticeable effect. The choice of knee will depend on the desired effect and the characteristics of the audio being processed. For example, a soft knee may be more appropriate for a vocal track where a subtle touch of compression is desired, while a hard knee may be more appropriate for a drum track where a more aggressive sound is desired. 6. The makeup. The makeup gain in a compressor is a parameter that increases the level of the output signal after it has been processed by the compressor. The makeup gain is usually expressed in decibels dB. The makeup gain is used to compensate for the reduction in level that occurs as a result of the compression. It allows the engineer to bring the level of the compressed signal back up to match the level of the uncompressed signal, or to boost the level of the signal to achieve a desired effect. The makeup gain is an important parameter in a compressor, as it determines the overall level of the output signal. Setting the makeup gain too high will result in the output signal being too loud, while setting it too low will result in the output signal being too quiet. Finding the right makeup gain for a given situation is often a matter of trial and error, and may require some experimentation to achieve the desired results. In conclusion, a compressor is a powerful tool in audio production that can be used to shape the dynamics of a signal in a variety of ways. By understanding the different parameters of a compressor, such as the threshold, ratio, attack, release, and makeup gain, you can achieve the desired sound for your audio. I hope you found this video on compressors to be informative and helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more audio production tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.